Okay, so here we are on Instagram, Facebook. Hi everybody. So tonight it's that working from home. It's things you can do when you're sat at a stupid chair. I know some of us, when we work in our lovely offices, we have nice ergonomical, as in shaped specially for you, chairs. But when we're working from home, we don't have the luxury of that. We have sometimes the kitchen table or the dining room table. Heaven forbid you've got your laptop actually on your lap, but best case, most people have got a good old dining chair. So we're going to do some stretches on that. Before I start, I have to give my disclaimer. I don't know who you are, I don't know what your capabilities are, so really you can't hold me responsible. If you want to follow the class, you're very welcome to follow the class, but don't do anything that hurts. Pilates should never hurt. And don't overdo it. You're not competing with anybody. So just take it easy and enjoy it. Get what you can from it. I also know that some of my absolute experts are here. People I've been teaching for a long time. And you know what you can do. You can really push it, can't you? Anyway, so claim off your own insurance. Thank you so much for following me. I've really enjoyed doing Thursday Night Live, and I will carry on doing it. And of course it's free, but I know a lot of my regulars. I'm so grateful. I really am so grateful. Thank you for your payments. It keeps the wheels spinning, doesn't it? All right, so we always set up, and this really is for my regulars and for my newbies. You start with your feet together, turn your toes out, 10 to 2, lift your heels behind. And you will notice the hips, which are the actual bony bits. This isn't your hips, this is your hips, the bony bit. Dig in there and find it. And you'll see that my knees are directly beneath my hips, which is directly above my feet, and that's perfect. That's what Mother Nature intended. Not this, or this, or this. None of those. She wanted us just like this. And now we need to lengthen the neck. So lift. See how much taller I get? Just from lifting my neck. Now I want to take my shoulders down and back. I need to find my neutral spine. So basically stick your bum out. So tilt your bum out. Swivel the hips to tuck it under. This in itself is a really good back mobilisation. Haven't even had a drink yet. Okay, make that movement as big as you can. The more mobility you have here, the more mobile your spine is, the better the muscles are. Practice makes perfect. Use it or lose it. Okay, now make that movement smaller and smaller until you stop in the middle, and that will be your neutral spine. Now take your arms back down by your side. You want to engage the core, so you put your hand on your belly, just underneath your belly button, and cough. So instead of coughing and your belly going out, you cough and bring it in. So it's and that's engaging your core. It's just bringing it all in, but it's not like trying to do this. And now we need to lift the pelvic floor. That's inside you. Nobody can see it. Nobody knows what you're doing. Who's here? Somebody's here. Thanks. And it's so funny. Now lift that pelvic floor up inside. Imagine it's like a lift. And it's the muscle that stops you accidentally weeing. Lift it up inside and lower it all the way down. Lift it up inside again. Hold it and lower it halfway, and then a little bit more, so it's 50%, and then a teeny bit more, it's 30%. Got a message come through. Hi. Hi Jilly, hi Georgia. Working from home. Okay, so now we have the pelvic floor lifted. All we've got to think about is the breathing. We want to breathe in through the ribs. So fingertips together, take a massive inhale through the nose for 4. See how my fingertips have come apart? Because my ribs have spread. Now exhale. And they come back together. And that's the breathing. So it's breathe in for 4 through the nose, out for 4 through the mouth. And if you need to keep that breath rate going all through the class. Next, we can actually start with mobilising all the body. And I'm going to do some of these. Grab the chair that I asked you to bring. And we'll do the mobilisation here. Now, hopefully you at least have a table and chair. You are probably sat a little bit like this, slumped. So straight away, you're stretching these muscles at the back of your neck and you're shrinking these, shortening these at the front. You need to address that, which is why I said shoulders down and back. You also can have your neutral spine. So again, from here, you rock backwards and forwards in your chair. Now make that movement smaller and smaller and smaller until you stop in the middle, and that's your neutral spine. Now if you notice, I'm not touching the back of the chair because even though I've got my bum pushed back as far as I can, to have my neutral spine there's a big gap, and with the best will in the world we can't sit like that all day, can we? So that's why you get a cushion and you put it in the small of your back to support you. That's vital, because if you're spending several hours a day, it's vital that you keep your neutral spine. Because, let me show you why, because if you haven't got your neutral spine and you're slumping back into the chair, you see when we were standing and we did this movement, and then when we were sitting and we did this movement, well, what you'll do, undoubtedly, is you'll do this and stay there. So you're tipping your pelvis back, which is shortening your hamstrings. And when your hamstrings get short, that's when agony, when you're walking, running, trying to sit on the floor. So we're going to do a stretch for that right now. This is what you can do when you're perhaps once an hour, just have a fiddle with doing some, my nose is itching, sorry, doing some stretches. Now this stretch here, watch this. Lift one leg and flex your foot. So this is pointed, this is flexing. Okay. Now I'm allowing you now to slump. So here we are, we're slumped. And now to stretch my hamstring. Some of you will already have a stretch. If so, stay where you are and hold it for 3 full Pilates breaths. So you inhale for 4, exhale for 4. But hopefully your hamstrings aren't that tight and you're not getting any stretch at all now. So now you can straighten up and tip that pelvis back. Now I've got a nice stretch now. Never ever go into pain. And back. We could do that one more time on this side. So you're going to slump and then straighten out till you have mild tension. The breathing in itself is good for you. If you've been sat and bring it down, I'm going to do the same on the other leg now. Oh, I can feel that. So what you've been doing is really working your thigh muscle, your quads. So slump, bring the leg up. Till you get mild tension. This leg might be different to the other leg. I'm happy here. I've got mild tension. I'm feeling a nice stretch down that hamstring. The breathing, you know, if you're fed up or a bit miz, and it is hard going in this weather and everything, the breathing is really good for you. Up we go again. Oh, we've got company. So there you go, there's your hamstring stretch. So from that, you've now got yourself sorted, upright, and you've stretched the backs of your legs. Now let's just swing the legs. Get the knee working. And the other one. Hello. We have company. 2 together. Okay, now I'm going to do my toes. So I'm going to go up onto tiptoes, opposite legs. And even if you're wearing high heels, you can still do this bit. So, does anybody wear high heels anymore? Mine are all redundant. So you're lifting your toes, up onto your toes, all this stuff. Now swirl your ankles round. Because another thing is, if you're not moving, all the blood supply is just sitting there. And this is going to get it all moving, help it moving, back up the legs. The other way. I can do them both together, I don't know if you can. There. Saves a bit of time. So actually, all of us, we're a bit time poor, aren't we? So the more things you can do at once, the better. Okay, now then, here's another one. This is for your hips. Cross your legs. Now, us girls, we're always told not to cross our legs, aren't we? Well, here you go. I'm not saying cross your legs like that. I'm saying put your ankle over your thigh. And I bet you it's tight here. If you've been sat, it's tight. So just little bounces. Little bounces. going to swap legs. Oh yeah, that's tight. Little bounces. So we've done the feet, the ankles, the calves, the knees, the hamstrings at the back. We've strengthened the front. And now we're just opening the hips. Brilliant. Now we're just going to do the waist. This is really good for your back. Circling my hips. You could do this every 10 minutes while you're sat at your desk. And the other way. Okay, now we're going to stretch down one side and then the other. Lovely. I'm even going to pull on that. Pull, 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 pull. Now I'm going to let go a bit further. Alright, let's get the shoulders working. Now this is a big trigger point, isn't it? Because if you've been sat like this for ages, and the other way. So all the time you should still have your pelvic floor lifted and your core engaged. Right, now we can do it with the arms. Because we don't have space. Well, I have space here, but when you're sat at your desk, you don't have space. And the other way. There you are, you're back. So we're going to do a spine twist. Now I want you to be really careful, because if you're not moving your back very much, you've got to be really gentle when you're doing this. So I'm reaching round, grabbing the chair, and then grabbing the back of the chair. And then I'm just going to gently ease, not pull, ease myself round and turn my neck. And then I'm going to take my hand up and open it up and bring it back. And then turn. So now I'm reaching this way and I'm getting a lovely stretch in this shoulder. A lovely stretch. Bring it back, twist into the spine. Open it wide, twist into the spine. Open it wide. And twist into the spine. Didn't turn my watch on. Pilates. Was I even here? Do I exist? Do the same the other side. So I reach over with the hand. Then I grab the back of the seat, and then I gently ease myself as far as I can without any pain or whatsoever. Now this hand here is going to come all the way open, so now I'm getting a really nice chest opening and a nice stretch. So these are things you can do while sat in your chair. But of course, what you really need to be doing is getting up and moving around. There we are. And the only other thing I want to do is your neck. So we're going to draw some circles with your nose. Small first, and then big. Big as you can without any pain. Still with your core engaged, still with your shoulders down and back, still with your pelvic floor lifted. Change direction. So I reckon we've spent 5 minutes doing that, and there's no reason. I mean, you can just not do it, but then by the end of the day, don't you just get up and you're all a bit like this? So really, nobody can do it for you. You have to do it for yourself. Sorry, I can't do it for you. Right, now we're going to go standing, and while we've got the chair here, we might as well do some legs. So I'm holding onto the chair. You don't have to hold onto the chair. If you're good at these things, let go of the chair. Okay, but here it is, and just swing the leg front to back. Notice that I'm not bending that leg, because again, what this is doing is checking the length of your hamstrings. So the higher you can get your leg, the more you've got length in the hamstring and the other hamstring. But once you go like this, you're shortening the hamstring again. There we are, and I'm going to do the other leg as well. Because when you sit all day, you're shortening your hip flexors, and this is nicely stretching them out. God, we're wearing tracksuits nearly all day, aren't we? There's no reason why we can't do this. You're not like wearing a pencil skirt and high heels anymore, are you? If you are, come and see me. And that's just the girls. All right, I'm going to have to turn my, well, I won't turn my back to you. We're going to do out to the side now. And I'm going to let go, which is the hardest one, this is. Lovely. And change legs. So all these mobilisations are vital to do before you start any serious exercise. And practicing your balance is also vital. Right, that's everything done with the chair. You can lose the chair. Please try and remember those stretches throughout your working day at home. Get the kids to do them. Right, now we're going to do some real work. So we're going to do lunges. The reason we're doing a lunge is because, again, we've been sat all day. I have been sat all day. I don't know about you. So I'm going to take a great big step back. My feet are facing the front and they're still in line with my hips. So in other words, if you're one foot in front of the other, you're making life difficult. You want your feet hip distance apart. And then your back heel comes off the floor and you lower down, keeping everything at right angles. This is now stretching this hip flexor, stretching the quad, working the quad. Squeeze your bum, arms out to the side, and twist over the front foot. And back and up. And the other leg back, into your lunge, twist over the front foot. We'll do loads more of those. Notice the timing. Wait. And down, keep going if you can. So this is a balance, a twist, so you're working your back, you're working loads of things. The lower you can go, the better with that knee. And now I see a lot of people going like this. We don't want to be like that, we want to be upright. And the other leg. All the time the chest is up, the shoulders are back, neutral spine, pelvic floor lifted. If you need to rest, stop and kick your bum, but otherwise keep going. Still doing your in for 4 through the mouth, the nose, out 4 through the mouth. Keep going if you can. You know about this. Show you from the front. We're still smiling. So now we've worked those big quad muscles, massive quad muscles. Let's try a standing quad stretch. We're going to do a little one. Sure. Don't have a stretch in your quad. As soon as you bring your foot behind and bring your knees together, nice stretch here, and you've got a balance as well. And release. Same the other side. No stretch. Stretch. And release. Same the other side. And release. Same the other side. And release. Lovely job. Right, we're going to go to sitting. And we're just going to work the hips a little bit now. Can you see that my feet right now are facing up to the ceiling? And now they're not. Up to the ceiling, now they're not. I'm showing you this because I want them to stay up to the ceiling. So you can lean back, but if you're leaning back, please keep your chest proud. Now I'm going to imagine I've got a wheel under this heel. And I'm going to wheel that foot out, but I'm not allowed to turn my foot at all. It has to stay facing the ceiling, which means you won't be able to go as far. And back. Now I'm going to do 5 on each leg. You can alternate. Off you go and back. Watch your toes. If your toes go off the vertical, then you're going too far. That's 3. That's 4. And that's 5. Now I'm going to work the other side. Oh, this one's much better than the other one. Much better. 2, 3, 4. Much better this side. 5. And shake the legs and just rock side to side. Okay, we're going to do an advanced move now called can-can. I'm going to do an easy option first. So the position you need to be in, if you can, you want your fingers facing the front towards your toes, leaning back, but none of this, please. We want our chest proud. And I know some of you have dodgy wrists, so if you have dodgy wrists, I will allow you to turn your hands out. Okay. Got our tiptoes on the floor. Clamp your knees and your ankles and your feet together. And it's called can-can because da, 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 da. So we're going over to one side, so you get a nice waist twist, and across to the other side, and then the third one you'd kick the top leg like a can-can girl and back. So it's on the count of 3, so it's 1, 2, 3. Now if you start to do this, bring yourself back up again. 1, 2, 3. The less weight you have on your toes, the better. The less weight you have on your hands, the better. So in actual fact, you could just be on your fingertips. Yeah? If you can. And then keep going. And if you find this too easy, as some of my gang can, you can take both legs up. 1, 2, 3. And you can also not put them down on the floor, so you're holding them up for the whole time. 1, 2, 3. So I can actually, it's not easy, but I can actually take my hands off the floor. 1, 2, 3. What's happening now is these hip flexors are moving in to help your quads and your belly, your core. So everything's screaming at you now. Keep going if you can. I'm going to put my hands back now because it's hard, very hard. Rest when you need to. Work when you don't. God, everything's cracking on me. Just lost internet. Oh no. Just lost Facebook. Bear with me. No, we're still here, but oh dear, bear with me. End live video. Oh gosh, that's a disaster, isn't it? Oh crikey. We have a disaster. We've just lost internet. Completely. Can't be reached. Oh my word. I'm amazed that I'm still here with you on bear with me. Oh no, no internet. Thanks Georgia, yes, you're great, thank you for telling me. Crikey Mikey. I'm going to have to, disaster. Oh God. Hi Gilly.
Hello.
I didn't even know I could do this. I've now got Gilly actually with me on my screen.
You can see my ceiling.
Yes, splendid. I hope it's clean.
Of course.
Well, I've got a disaster. I can't get back on with Facebook. Hi. Right, I'm going to have to carry on with Instagram. Lost Facebook. Charming. You're getting messages now, Gillian. I'm not.
I know, I can see that. Why am I getting messages?
Jack. Don't know who Jack is.
Grace,
Right.
no, Katie's friends.
Oh, this is disaster. Okay, I'm going to carry on with Instagram for a minute. And
Wait for the internet to come back.
yeah, but it's not coming back. I don't know why. Oh, lordy, lordy. I've shut everything else down. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh. Right, I've got to carry on. Yeah, but I can't save the... Oh, dear. Lordy, lordy. I can't see you, Jilly, so I might just ditch you, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Because I can only see your ceiling.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so that's a bit of a... Lovely as it is, lose it. And I'm still trying to get on Facebook. God, this is disaster. Hi, Grace. Right, okay. We're carrying on with Insta and ignoring Facebook, I'm afraid. Oh, what a disaster. Right, so what we're doing, we did can-can. Now we're going to do single leg circle. Now, I know I have some experts with me, and I know I have some people who are injured with me, and I know I have some people I've never even heard of before. So this is how we're doing single leg circle. We're going to lie on our backs. First of all, I want you to arch your back and then push your back into the floor, just to find your neutral spine. Now stop that motion halfway between the two. You should be able to slide a piece of paper under, but nothing else. You wouldn't get your hand under. Now I want you to bring one leg up to tabletop. Now, tabletop is where your knee is directly above your hip. So in actual fact, this is cheating. This is tabletop. This is harder than tabletop, but I'm not asking you to do this. I'm saying tabletop. And take it back down and swap sides. Now, while you're doing this, does your back move even a tiny bit? If it does, it's too difficult. So just start patting your feet, prancing. But otherwise, lift one and take it down. Lift the other and take it down. Okay, even it up. Now, single leg circle. Bring one leg to tabletop. And it's not about a knee movement, it's about a hip movement. So we keep that nice 90-degree angle and we turn the leg round and round 3 times that way. While you're doing that, the very last glass of wine or beer is on the other knee. Now change direction. So we're going to do 3 the other way. This is a single leg circle for beginners, but everybody does this one first. Now swap legs. So this is your warm-up for what's coming next. If you flex your foot, you're getting a nice stretch in the calf as well. Okay, and the other way. Right, so if you're new to Pilates, I want you to keep doing this. But if you're not new to Pilates, you can have both legs out. You can bring one leg up, flexing the foot so you're getting a really good stretch down the back of the leg. And then I want you to do some circles. I want you to do 5 one way. Great big circles. You should be able to get your foot obviously all the way to the floor at the level with the other foot. And while you're doing that, I'm going to see if I can get back on Facebook. So keep that rhythm. Don't go too fast. Nope, I completely lost it. So this isn't my internet because obviously I have really good Instagram. So it's got to be Facebook. It is Facebook. I can't get on Facebook. Hi Lisa, hi Karen. Right, single leg circles. Carry on with Instagram. Whoever thought? Right, so I'm quite supple and I'm working this really hard. I'm doing 5 one way and 5 the other way. You're ahead of me, I presume. And then I'm going to bring it down to tabletop, change legs. Tabletop, lift the leg. I'm going to do full circles. Again, if this is too difficult, you can do it at tabletop. But I know I have some experts with me. There's 3. Keeping the core engaged, keeping the back still. 4, 5, and the other way. All of these exercises you can do without any equipment at all. I've got my mat here because otherwise I'd be wandering off camera. So my mat keeps me in the right place. But you don't need a mat. Don't need any equipment. All you need is stretchy clothes. Okay, there's my 5 each way. Shake the legs. And rock from side to side. Now the next one can be as tough as you like. Again, so we're starting with our feet bent, knees are hip distance apart. It's shoulder bridge, so if you're doing shoulder bridge you can crack on. Knees are hip distance apart, feet are hip distance apart, arms down by your side, neck lengthened. First thing you want to do is a pelvic tilt, so you're pushing your back into the floor and then you're going to articulate, as in take your spine off the floor 1 vertebrae at a time until you're in this lovely ski slope position. Breathe in at the top and then exhale all the way down 1 vertebrae at a time. And inhale, pelvic tilt. Exhale, lifting the body off the floor. Now I notice a couple of my clients here have got osteoporosis, and they know because I've told them that you don't do this articulating, you go up straight and down straight. But they're the exception, people with osteoarthritis and osteoporosis. So at the moment, this is quite easy, isn't it? Nice and relaxing. You are using your thigh muscles, remember? You're using the backs of your legs. You're using your bum. Now, you can carry on doing this. Oh, we've got Facebook back. You can carry on doing that. Facebook's just come back into the room. Oh, it's shocking. Oh, keep going. You keep doing your shoulder bridge. Well, just despair. Okay, now, those of you who are my experts, we're going to really, oh, well, just have a hug first. Hug your knee into the chest and the other knee. Roll around on your spine. And now we're going to do shoulder bridge again. Now, for my experts, we're going to really up the ante, but those of you who are new to Pilates or have any injuries, you can carry on doing your shoulder bridge, but you could actually at the top inhale and take the arms over and bring them back. So that's up to you. But then for my experts, we're going to raise one leg to tabletop, take it to the ceiling, and we're going to lower it all the way down, keeping the hips high. If the hips drop, you're overdoing it, go back to what you were doing before and bring it down and change legs. So it's tabletop, straight leg, keeping the hips high, lower that leg. So you're getting a nice stretch now in the hip flexor. And back down, change legs. So you can come down in between if you need to, but most of you I know don't. Keep that breath rate going. Now is a great time to check the pelvic floor, because while you're doing this, all the weight of all your insides are away from your pelvic floor. So your pelvic floor has to do less work. Keep this going. Rest when you need to. Work when you don't. Do you think the end's in sight? The vaccine's getting out there, which I think is absolutely brilliant. But I just want to see my friends. I want to see my family. I want to see you guys. feeling quite strong tonight. I'm really rocking this, aren't I? Rest when you need to, and don't forget the rest. Have one knee, then the other knee into your chest and roll around. But otherwise, keep going. You do know now that you're working your thighs massively, you're stretching your hip flexors and the backs of your legs, you're using your bum, really working your back. And if you're not doing this and you're static and you're moving your arms, you're getting good shoulder mobility. So whatever you're doing, it's doing you a lot of good. Right, I'm going to do one more on each side, and then I'm going to have a well-deserved rest and a drink. There we go. So roll down. One knee to chest, other knee to chest. Oh, back feels nice and worked hard. And then I'm going to have a drink. Now, when you want to come up to sitting after working hard like that, you don't really just want to try and sit up. You want to roll over onto one side and use your arms to bring you up. And then you grab your drink. Yeah, Facebook's disappeared again completely. What a disaster. Right, next thing. We're going to do side plank. Now, there's so many variations of side plank. You wouldn't believe it. But they're all horrible. Now, side plank you can do low, which is on your elbow. I hate it low. I prefer it high. High is up on your hand. Let's do, I'm going to do high, you do low if you want. So, got one leg bent with my knee in front and the other leg straight. Now, my foot and my bum and my hand are all in line on the back of my mat. And so I'm going to inhale, and as I exhale, I'm going to lift my hips off the floor, take them over, and then bring them all the way back. It's a lovely stretch for your side, and it's a good workout. Right, but I know some of you will want to bring this top foot forward and take the other foot behind, and now we're also in side plank. So we're going to lower down and lift. Now this is really hard on one hand because, as you can imagine, you've got a long way to go up. So that's when down on your elbow is easier, but it hurts my elbow, so that's why I do it up here. The other side's fine. Try not to, when you come down, have a little picnic and a cup of tea and a glass of wine. Just kiss the floor and go straight back up. Always rest when you need to. Notice I'm keeping my breath rate. And you can always, if you want to, change into having your elbow on the floor or having your knee down. It's up to you. You work as hard as you can. I'm going to do 3 more. There's 1, 2, 3. And nice and warm now. And lower down and collapse and have a rest. That's hard, that is. I need to come to the other side now, so I won't have my back to you. I'll turn to the other end. Shake your shoulders out. And take one leg out. Bend the other knee. Everything's in line with the back of the mat. Inhale. As you exhale, lift and take the arm over. And exhale back down. So you can leave your knee there, or you can have your elbow here like this. So it's your exercise, or you can have both legs straight. So you choose. Now I still prefer it on my wrist, not my elbow, to be honest. wasn't very good. But then again, it's not very far to fall. I've got plenty of padding on my bum. Still breathing. Again, I'm going to do 3 more. There's 1, 2, 3, and collapse. Oh, had some messages. Okay. And shake the shoulders off. And the other way. Oh, lovely. Okay, we're going to do a nice gentle one now. And I've seen somebody here who loves this one. We're just going to do a mini cobra. Cobra, I've got my elbows on the floor. I've got my hips on the floor. I'm looking at the floor as though I'm reading a book. Let the legs relax. And now just lift up, so you're growing out of your shoulders. And relax down. Same again. So you're really using your shoulders now. Okay, so this is the shoulder end. Now, hold your cobra. I'm going to stretch the thighs off, so just fling your foot up. So we're going 1, 2, 3, and down. 1, 2, 3, and down. Just stretching off those thighs. And you could do them together if you want. 1, 2, 3, and down. 1, 2, 3, down. 1, 2, 3, down. How does that feel? All right, we're going to go into a child pose now. So you've had your back bent this way. Child pose allows you to stretch it the other way. Still see me? Yes. Okay, new move for everybody. Nobody's done this with me before. We're going to go into a plank on our elbows. To get into plank, and I'm going to roll the mat up a little bit so it doesn't hurt my elbow. To go into plank, take one leg out and drop the bum. My face always looks at the floor. Take the other leg out to meet it and drop the bum. Because up here is cheating. And we've already done cobra and we know we can do that. Now we need to work the back by lifting the hips off the floor into a straight line. So there's plank. If you need to, put your knees down, because this is bad for your back. Hovering in midair is really bad for your back. When you've got your hips on the floor, it's fine. The floor is taking all the strain. But to hover like this is not good for you. So if you can't make it into a straight line, put your knees down. And if you're good at plank, as some of you are, we're going to swing side to side. So hip to the floor, hip to the floor, hip to the floor, hip to the floor. Rest when you need to and go back into child pose. I'm going to do 3 more on each side. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to go back into a child pose. Yeah. Right, the next one, a little bit hateful. this next one is to stretch your hamstrings, but also to massively work your thighs at the same time. So it's almost as bad as the lunges right at the beginning. So come into a crouch. So crouch. I've got my feet on the floor with my heels lifted. And I've got my ribs actually resting on my thighs. So I'm actually quite comfortable here. Inhale. And as you exhale, start to straighten the legs and push your heels down to the floor. So I've got my heels on the floor. I'm still actually resting on my thighs. I could take my hands off because my ribs are pushing on my thighs. And now we want to straighten the legs to mild tension only. So if you can't get them straight, that's going back right to the beginning where we said you've got tight hamstrings because you spend too long sitting all day, or you spend too long running and without stretching off. So we come back down and up and down. So after a few of these quite swift ones, you probably quite quickly manage to straighten the legs a bit more and a bit more. So I'd always do 10 of these. 5, 6, 7, really working my thighs. 8, 9, 10. Now I was happy with that because I managed to get my legs straight and into a nice forward fold. But when you watch my guys on a Thursday night, my guys, they probably get to about here, which is fine. That's their stretch. As long as they're getting their stretch, everybody does their own thing. So that is pretty brilliant. Now we're going to come onto your hands and knees, and we're going to stretch off we've done all the hard work, by the way. So now we're going to do cat-cow stretch. So I've got my neutral spine and looking at the floor. Without losing that core, keep the core engaged, but look up and stick your bum out. So that's cow stretch. Neutral spine, cat stretch. Stretching as high as you can up to the ceiling like an angry cat. Neutral spine, cow. But this is the only one exercise I say to you, look up. All the others, I say, look at the floor. This is absolutely lovely, especially if you've been static all day. And you can do this, can you see me still if I go here? You can do this on a chair. You can go from here to here. So you don't have to get down on the floor. You can even do it standing up on your chair. You know, you can do it here. You can go like this and this. It's exactly the same stretch, but you know, you wouldn't want to do cat-cow on your hands and knees in Tesco's, would you? I don't think you should do this on the freezer counter either. People will talk. But the point is, when you're doing your work from home, you don't have to get down on the floor. So there you go, there's your cat-cow. Right, so we're going to do wide leg child pose now. And the reason we do wide leg is because we want to stretch the inner thighs. So you take your knees wide, feet together at the back, and then into that child pose. And already I've got a stretch in my inner thighs, and I want to relax here. So if you look inside, there. I'm putting my bum aiming down to get it on my heels. I keep my elbows off the floor, which gives my shoulders a stretch. And breathe and enjoy it. And breathe again. And to come out a bit, walk your hands back towards you. Lovely. We're going to do another stretch all for the backs of the legs now. So we go back into your kneeling position. Curl the toes under. We're going to lift the knees off the floor. Take all the weight over the heels and then straighten the legs a bit, which you've already done a nice stretch for the backs of the legs. So they should feel okay. Prance. I'm just going to move back on camera. Prance between the feet. Prancing, prancing. Imagine somebody's pressing between my shoulder blades, pushing my shoulder blades back towards my knees, rather than being like this. Push back. Prancing, prancing. All right, we're going to get down into pigeon pose now. And I know this causes great amusement for some people. So we're going to kick one leg behind. And then we swing it through and put your knee on the floor. And then you're going to, watch me from the front, put your knee through and then you fidget this foot under your body. So that then you can sit back down into pigeon pose. And what we're stretching now is this bum here. By just easing it towards the floor. That's nice. And hold it there. Now I know a lot of people relax here by going down here like this, but you risk losing the stretch if you round your back too much. So the idea on the side, if you watch, rather than down here with a rounded back, up here, pushing your bum forward, your hips forward, that increases the stretch nicely. And the advantage is you can carry on watching telly while you're doing it. Don't miss anything. Okay, fidget this leg back into box. Curl the toes under. Take the weight back. We're going back up to down dog again. Prancing through the feet. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So we take one leg behind, swing it through, drop the knee to the floor, fidget the foot under the body, and then relax down. And again, you can go to here, but if you stay up here, you can carry on watching telly. You don't miss anything. And breathe. This is nice. You should feel a stretch just in your bum here. So people who have sciatica or anything like that, you should love this. And right, we're going to do a new hip flexor stretch. So come up to kneeling. So as though you were in the lunge, you take one foot forward. And now if you look at the angle, my knee is way, way behind my foot, isn't it? In other words, it's not on top of my foot's in front of my knee. And then I'm just going to ease forward and down. And now I'm getting a really good stretch in this hip flexor, which we were using massively when we did the single leg circles, when we did the can massively, when we did the hip stretches. And if you've gone too far and you're going, oh, Carol, hurry up, you've overdone it. You should be feeling quite relaxed here. Like you can stay here for quite a long time. Okay, push back out of it. Just swap over. Always do both sides. Okay. And breathe. Oh, that's a nice stretch on this side. It's nice. Nice, nice, nice. So I have found a way I can invite you. You can ask to come on my Instagram, which is what one of my friends just did. Except her phone was set up so I could see, it was on the floor I think, so I could just see straight up into her ceiling, which was no good. It's a nice ceiling. Okay, and push back out of it. Now we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to go back to the first leg, and now we're going to rock forward and back. Forward and back. Notice as I go forward, my knee is still behind my heel. You don't want it to be like this because that's not good for your knee. So you push the foot out, forward and back. And I'm going to change legs. forward and back. So I think next week has got to be shoulders, hasn't it? Because they had a bit of a break today. They had some nice mobility, but they didn't really do any hard work. So I think maybe next week it needs to be shoulders. Right. Come out of this. Both knees to the floor. Put your hands to the floor. Back into a crouch. We're going to come up to standing by, last time, straightening the legs to mild tension only. One hand on your thigh. One hand on your other thigh. All the way back up to standing. And then, just so you don't feel hard done by, inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale onto your toes, walking around. Stretchy, stretchy, stretchy. And one more. And you are